Hey folks, welcome to the Alone Time Thoughts podcast. I'm Sam. I know I haven't been here for a little while. And full disclosure, my wife and a girl are actually away. She has her dance tourney this week, so it's kind of given me a little time to myself without running around. And also it's given me time to hang out with my big boy, which has been great. We've been watching some movies, we've been watching some Boondocks, not as much though. And the movies we watched, I hope I get them all. But last night we watched Snatch. I have that on DVD. He actually went through my DVD collection not too long ago. And usually, not every movie I own on DVD. At that time, I don't buy DVDs anymore, but back when I did, not every movie I bought was something I considered a classic or just a movie I loved. But a lot of them basically is what makes up my DVD collection. And Snatch is one of those movies. I always loved that movie. Always found it funny, and he seemed to enjoy it as well. So that was a good one. The other one we saw was Terminator. We saw no, actually, you know what? We haven't watched Terminator. I'm trying to think what we did watch. Oh, I'm sorry. We watched the Jurassic World, the one prior to the one that's currently in theaters. And that one had a terrible rating, so I've actually been pushing it off and pushing it off. It's one of our franchises that we currently got going. I think I mentioned some of the others. We have the 28 Later franchise. We only seen 28 Days Later so far, me and him. Again, I saw it 28 months later. And 28 Years Later is now out, so we're going to get to that. We've been watching the Hannibal series. We are now up to the third one on that one. We saw 8 Mile as well. I don't believe I mentioned that, but if I did, I apologize. What other series do we have besides those? We definitely have some. Terminator, of course, is one of them. But that's generally what we've been doing. He's also, he also during the summer or really on the weekends gets to play for 3 hours. So he's only done that I think once or twice so far this week. So I do appreciate him taking this time to hang out. And Colors. We also watched. Colors is a movie I've watched a long time ago. I don't want to say it's one of my favorites, but it's a solid movie. I've been trying to get him to watch Blood In, Blood Out. I actually like that one better than Colors, but he decided not to go Blood In, Blood Out, and he was okay with Colors. And after watching Colors, we looked at the IMDb ratings, and now that he sees that Blood In, Blood Out, which does have a different name, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what the alternate name is. It's Blood In, Blood Out to me. Always will be. Always has been. So yeah, sorry about that. I was just turning off my alarm so it doesn't interfere. Alarm to go pick him up in case I pass out because, like I said, I've been taking it a little easy this week. So yeah, I also had a little boys' night on Tuesday night. That was a good time as always, and I don't remember the other series that we have. I'm sure there is, besides all the Marvel movies we're doing, of course. But yeah, it's been a good week. We've been doing different restaurants as well. Monday, we got Halal Guys. I know that's a chain. I don't know if it's by where you are, whoever is watching, but I do suggest giving it a try if you like halal, even if you don't or you haven't tried it. I'd say give it a try. My favorite is the mac and cheese with a light jerk and mild white sauce on it. They give a great portion for the price. That is my favorite. That's what I had. Usually, again, depends how much you eat, what kind of eater you are. You can probably even make it last 2 sittings. Again, as I mentioned to you guys, I'm on a diet, so I only eat once a day basically. So to me, it lasts basically the one sitting, and then I can use it kind of as an appetizer for the next day. But he actually took it with him to his job. He's a counselor in camp, junior counselor for now. Still a young man, so he's not ready to be a counselor. Maybe next year. So he took that on Tuesday with him. Then Tuesday we had Shake Shack. He wanted to do that on Tuesday because last time we got Shake Shack, we also had it on Tuesday, and I guess it's kind of like a little bit of the way his mind works. He likes patterns. He likes to keep things consistent. One of the reasons he actually refuses to ever watch karate movies with me, just randomly, is because the first time I believe we watched Bruce Lee movies, and that was his real introduction to karate. I'm not sure if those were his first karate movies, or I might have shown him Bloodsport initially. But either way, we were doing Bruce Lee movies, and we had ordered Texas chicken. So now he refuses to watch any karate movies, and obviously, unless I force him, but that's something I try not to do too often. Unless we have Texas chicken with as our meal. So yeah, he likes, I guess, consistency or patterns, which is totally fine. Just sometimes they throw me off a little, but we did have Shake Shack on Tuesday. I like Shake Shack. I probably like Five Guys better, just because Shake Shack to me comes off a little greasier, and I'm trying. I try to just in general stay away from grease as often as possible, just because you just get a kind of the after. It's not even the aftertaste. Maybe it's not heartburn. It's just, I don't know. The belly doesn't feel right when I have too much grease on my food. Shake Shack, I've noticed at least, gets my belly aching a little more if I have too much of it, of course. But just in general, even if let's say I was eating Shake Shack 2-3 days in a row as opposed to Five Guys 2-3 days in a row, Shake Shack would definitely make me feel worse by that third day, or fourth day, and so on. And yesterday we had Chinese food. There is this Chinese food place by where he works that I've always loved. Their chicken has always just been on point. We have one around the corner that is kind of questionable. It's a toss-up if the chicken's going to be good or not. So not really my favorite Chinese place. Obviously, if the kids are clamoring for it, or just for some reason I haven't had Chinese in a long time, that's just local. It's very easy. There's really no other Chinese places around here that I necessarily trust, even though that one, of course, doesn't sound very trustworthy either. But usually, if I get the sesame shrimp, it's not a problem. But anything chicken related is kind of hit or miss with the one around the corner. Although I got to give it credit, it's been pretty good recently. But yeah, so the Chinese place we got was just a place I used to eat when he used to be in the camp there back in the day, or just in general when we used to be in the area. I used to love that Chinese place, always good, always solid. So we decided to get that yesterday, and yeah, still good. He loved it. He said definitely better than the one around the corner. Today we have Chipotle, which honestly I could eat Chipotle every day. If I don't get any bloody underwear. That's a South Park reference to those that know. That those that don't, look it up. It's definitely, again, if you're a fan of South Park, all their episodes are awesome for the most part. But yeah, that was one of the solid, more memorable ones, and especially when it comes to Chipotle. Even though that was a little while back, so Chipotle maybe has changed. I know at the time when they made that episode, Chipotle, was giving a lot of people stomach problems. I think they had to change, their suppliers. I just know there was a reason South Park just made that a kind of a running joke, part of that episode. I believe they're better now, but personally, I've never had a problem with Chipotle. Love Chipotle. Probably not an everyday type of meal, but if you told me I had to eat Chipotle 5 out of 7 days of the week, I would be fine with it. I can't say that for too many places. Chipotle is one of them. And then tomorrow, well, the next day, I don't know when you're watching this, but the wife and kid are back. It's actually going to be a Friday, which is movie night. It's the little one's movie night, and I'm pretty sure that we're gonna go with the chicken place. Oh, goodness gracious. Sorry guys, I'm obviously very, very old. Let's just see. Chicken. I should really know this. Chicken fast food. Not Raising Cane's, although we are fans of Raising Cane's. Not the little one actually, but me and my son have no problems with it. How Chick-fil-A? There we go. See, even Google gave me an issue here. Chick-fil-A, I believe, is what she had chosen. Again, her mind may still change. You know how the little ones are. They can't really bank on anything they say 5 days prior or however long it's been. Last week we did Red Lobster. I believe I mentioned that in my previous video. But yeah, that's been my week, so I do apologize for it being as long as it's been. But I'm back, and hopefully I'll be able to get a few more videos in before the week's over, or at least one more. Tomorrow's Friday here, as I'm speaking to you, or creating this video, so hopefully I'll have one more. As you guys know, I probably will not do one on the weekend. But the thing I do want to talk about today, besides all the news out, news is always crazy. The news cycle is just crazy, just nonstop stuff being thrown at us. But I think it's very important that, we discuss inflation, raising it to 2.7% in America, and the tariffs are starting to raise prices. It's very unfortunate. You hate to see it. This of course means that prices are going to be going up on a lot of consumer goods. Now, this is on top of the big beautiful bill getting passed, which is going to leave a lot of people, without SNAP benefits, without healthcare insurance or Medicaid, Medicare. So, not what you want to see. We hate the fact that inflation's going up, and and the president keeps yelling at Jerome Powell to lower the interest rates, but you can't do that while inflation's going up. So kind of a weird place we're in. And on top of that, we have this whole Epstein chaos going on, where excuse me, the president keeps trying to turn our attention away from the Epstein files. Keep saying, why people care about this. He's a dead man. Why is he so important? Well, because over 1,000 underage girls accused them, or have, basically accused, or have been found to have been, unfortunately, I don't even know what I'm allowed to say on YouTube, but things that shouldn't be done to underage children. And I think just as a parent and just as a citizen, this is something that I want to have the people who have committed these crimes held accountable for. Honestly, I don't care who they are. I don't care what their names are. I don't care what I feel about them currently. If they participated in this, they need to be in jail. Oh no, this thing went up. My wife's gonna kill me. There's no way she wants her face seen. Please ignore that. Don't go back. But yeah, so I think it's very important that the people who committed these horrible crimes are brought to justice. Even if it's the president, and if it is the president, of course it's going to cause chaos. It's going to cause a lot of problems for us as America, at least for a short term, until the proper steps are being taken. But it has to get done. And the fact that they kept claiming, hey, we have these files, we're going to release them, you guys are going to know everything, we're the administration of transparency, and now all of a sudden there are no files, everything's gone. There's a billion hilarious memes, hilarious videos. Maybe that'll be my next video, just showing you guys making fun of this whole situation. Maybe I'll think about it. I don't want to really bore you with this stuff for those that don't care about this or politics. And again, this isn't necessarily a funny subject. It's not funny at all, of course, the horrendous crimes that were committed, but it's just funny to see how, people who trusted the president to be transparent, to, get all this info out there, it's just you know what's happening? You're getting played, and you've been getting played by for a lot of different things. It's amazing. This is what it took to possibly actually fracture MAGA and fracture that whole. As people say, cult. I don't know if it's a cult. It's a following. I don't know what it is that attracts so many people towards Donald Trump because there's a lot of things not to like, in my opinion. But people see, and when you see people even getting interviewed, man on the street type of stuff, man, woman on the street type of stuff, or just people who will call into other podcasts or will do these debates either online or in person. It just seems like the way that the mind is working is not the way it should be. It seems like there's just a lot of gaping for him, for the movement, a lot of things that seem to either be overlooked or things that people turn a blind eye to, or just claim is not true without doing any kind of research or anything like that. So that's really terrible. But as we see on top of the Epstein nonsense that is going on, our prices are going up, inflation's going up, and just in case, I'm going to actually show you this next slide. Again, same person, Heather Long, and you can see the jump in inflation in June, and you can see things are going up in price, and you'll see durable goods, which is clothing really, linens, oranges, olives, cookware, audio equipment, major appliances, coffee, sports equipment, toys, massive amount of things that we use in our everyday lives that make our lives easier, better. Fine. Audio equipment, I guess that's not that important. Sports equipment, I would say, is important to the kids, to the just to people who are looking to either participate in sports for mind health, for body health, for general overall health, or just to get kids into it, to get kids outside. This is important stuff. It's already pretty expensive to have a kid in a sport, in a sport, especially if it's a travel sport. Believe me, we know our kid was in soccer, our kid was in baseball, our kid was in hockey. Our little one's just doing dance, so that's kind of helpful, I guess, to our wallets. But it's expensive before. It was expensive before, and now when you're seeing a 2% spike, and this is just now, this is June. We don't know if this is going to continue going up. Yes, eggs are down. We did expect eggs to go down because the inflation of eggs was due to bird flu more than really any party. Actually, I don't think any party had anything to do with the price of eggs going up. We all knew that, or at least, I don't want to say we all knew, but the understanding was that egg prices were going up due to bird flu, and that was the main reason for it. And it's great to see that that's coming back down. I saw Waffle House, which had like a egg surcharge, no longer has that surcharge anymore. So we're seeing that obviously even out, and I don't think it is where it was before, but it's coming down. There's no reason to think it won't completely continue to decrease. Maybe not completely, but it should continue to decrease to close to the levels it was before the bird flu. Again, I don't know if this inflation will affect eggs, so to the point where it can reach the same levels it was at before the bird flu epidemic, but at least it's going down, which is great to see. New vehicles also slightly down, but she's saying this is just the beginning. We need to watch food closely. Really, like I mentioned, tough on middle class, moderate income households. And now I just want you guys to know, in case you're saying, hey, who's this Heather Long? Like, why? It's just her opinion. Yes, absolutely, it's just her opinion. But she is the chief economist, Navy Federal, columnist, Washington Post. She also has a very impressive resume, which I want to show you guys. Again, this is to me, if you still don't want to believe her because she works for the Washington Post, which a lot of people, I believe, feel is lefty-leaning. Absolutely fair, but, she still has a resume, right? She went to Wellesley College, a BA in economics and English. Oxford University. Very, to me, that's very impressive. Masters in Financial Economics and Medieval Literature. The medieval literature does not come into play here, of course, but the Masters in Financial Economics, I think, gives her the right to speak on what's happening with our economy. You know, just wanted to make you guys aware. Just want to hop on here. I'm not going to keep this too long. I don't want to keep harping on this, but I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking, where we are headed in terms of the economy, where we're headed with the Epstein list. And, I'd love to get some feedback, hear back from you. And again, I really appreciate all the views, all the comments, things like that. The follows when they do come in. Keep subscribing, keep following. Let's get to, 10. The more the merrier, of course. Would love to grow the channel. Hopefully this is entertaining stuff for you. The other thing I want to do is just give you guys a quick update. I did win my game last week in my fantasy baseball league. It was a close one. I had a few hitters struggle. I made a mistake. Could have done better. I started some random here. This guy, just a random. I had options on the bench that could have added some points. That didn't. That was a mistake on me. But the good news is, at least to me, I don't know if you guys care, but I'm still holding strong in second place. Even though we got a tie, this is the dude I beat. Had I lost, my standings would not be where they are. I'd actually be out of the playoffs mathematically if they had started. So just letting you guys know that was a W. I did say I'm going to mention this once a week after the week's over. I'm not going to mention it next week because we have a long week. We play Friday until not the upcoming Sunday, but the following Sunday, just to keep it a long week. The 3-day week kind of makes it unfair, just based on a whole bunch of things I won't bore you with. But still doing all right. Still on track for the playoffs. But it's going to be a tight race. We'll see where it goes. As you can see, everybody's kind of close outside of these three teams. Well, even this team. I'm sorry, I don't want to. This team's actually better than some of the teams above it in terms of points. So basically, outside of two teams, the other 8 teams all have a shot. Clip of the day is just again, to me this is mind-boggling how this administration is functioning, how our country has not completely fallen apart with the administration we have in place. This is the HHC, Secretary of Health and Human Services, I believe, is what that stands for. RFK Jr. And he's surprised by AOC about insurance defrauding government, and I just actually wrote me a note here. And basically what she talks about, I'm not going to play this for you, of course, but please do check it out. It's very short, 5 minutes. But he basically doesn't know that for-profit insurance companies are defrauding by over $80 billion a year while doubling the rate of money they're receiving from the government, including one that's under current investigation. So it's just things we need to know as citizens, excuse me for that, about what's going on, about how either clueless our government is, or at least the current administration. And every administration probably is either clueless or pulling a fast one on us, but that's for you to decide. I think this one's a mix. I think there's a lot of cluelessness here. I don't believe RFK Jr. should be in his position, but does he know that there's a lot of corruption, there's a lot of nonsense going on? He might. I wouldn't put it past him, but in this video he claims he doesn't. Again, I think it's something you should at least listen to, and maybe do some more research after if you do find it interesting. Or if you want me to dig deeper into this, just comment, let me know. I'm more than happy to do this, but for now I'm going to just paste this link in the description below. And the song of the week is Exhibit of the Week. Song of the day, Exhibit, Kingmaker. I used to be a huge fan of Exhibit back in the day. Obviously we all age. I've discussed this before. The music gets worse, the skill's not there, but he just put out this new album, Kingmaker, it looks like a month ago. I haven't heard all the songs. There was another song I heard I wasn't a big fan of, but this one I liked. It's kind of less gangster, more of a just here's where I am in my life right now type of song. But I thought it was a very solid song. Just his flow, his cadence, the beat, as always. Well, again, as always, I like to say things that aren't true, but he does usually get pretty good production. So I thought it was a good song. Check it out. Thank you for watching the video. As always, appreciate you tuning in, and I'll speak to you soon. Have a great one.